I was standing outside the university interview hall when my phone buzzed. The text from my mom said, "We're not coming. Your sister needs us at the mall. You understand, right?" I stared at the empty parking lot where they were supposed to meet me with my portfolio and reference letters. Still sitting in their car, somewhere at a mall. The staff member walked up to me. "Are your parents here? We need those documents in 5 minutes or you'll forfeit your scholarship interview." My hands started shaking. "My name is Maya. I'm 17. And that morning, I learned exactly where I stood in my family. I'd always been the responsible one. You know the type. The kid who babysat without being asked, who tutored neighbors for extra cash, who worked part-time at the grocery store to save for college while keeping a 4.0 GPA. My younger sister Brooke is 15, and she's the complete opposite. Dramatic, needy, always in some kind of crisis that requires immediate parental intervention. My parents aren't bad people. They're not cruel. They're just distracted. Every single time I needed something, Brooke would have a meltdown. And suddenly my thing didn't matter anymore. I wanted to study engineering, top state university, full ride or nothing, because we couldn't afford it otherwise. I spent 2 years building my portfolio, maintaining perfect grades, volunteering, leading the robotics club. This interview was my shot. My parents promised they'd drive me, bring my documents, sit in the waiting room for support. But that morning, Brooke's boyfriend broke up with her. She threw a fit, said she needed new clothes to feel better, to get over him. My mom looked at me across the kitchen table. "Just take the bus, honey. We'll meet you there." I believed her. I actually believed her. Has your family ever treated you like this? Share your story below. Now I was standing in that parking lot, watching the minutes tick away, realizing they'd chosen a shopping trip over my entire future. I called my mom back. My voice was shaking. "Please, just drop off the folder. It's 20 minutes away." She sighed, like I was being difficult. "Your sister's really upset, Maya. Can't you just reschedule?" "This is a scholarship interview. There's no rescheduling. This is my life." I heard rustling. Then my dad's voice came on. "You're being dramatic. You'll figure it out. You always do." The line went dead. I felt something crack inside my chest. The staff member tapped her watch. 2 minutes. I tried calling Mr. Alvarez, my guidance counselor. He lived 40 minutes away, but maybe he could help. It rang and rang. No answer. He was in a meeting. I thought about running home, but it was 15 minutes by car. I'd never make it on foot. And even if I did, I'd miss the interview completely. The staff member's face softened. "I'm sorry, but without the portfolio and reference letters, we can't proceed. University policy." 2 years of work. Gone. I turned toward the parking lot. My throat felt tight. I refused to cry. Not here. Not now. That's when I saw the car pulling in. Mr. Alvarez. He jumped out, jogging toward me with a folder in his hands. "Your mom emailed me last week asking me to keep a backup copy. Just in case. I didn't think much of it until I saw your missed call." I stared at him. "My mom asked you to keep a backup?" He nodded. "She said you tend to over-prepare and she didn't want you stressing over documents." The words hit me like cold water. My mom knew this might happen. She planned a backup without telling me, because somewhere, deep down, she knew she might not show up. The betrayal stung worse than being abandoned, but the clock was ticking. Mr. Alvarez handed me the folder. "Go, you've got this." I ran inside. The interview was a blur. 3 panelists, questions about my projects, my goals, my designs. I answered on autopilot, professional, focused. But inside, I kept hearing my dad's voice. "You'll figure it out. You always do." Like it was my job to fix their failures, When I got home that evening, my parents were in the living room with Brooke, shopping bags everywhere. My mom was helping her organize new outfits on the couch. I stood in the doorway. "I think the interview went well." My dad didn't look up from his phone. "That's great, sweetie." Brooke held up a dress. "Mom, do you think Jake will notice me in this?" And just like that, the conversation shifted. Brooke's ex. Brooke's feelings. Brooke's everything. I ate dinner alone in my room that night. A week later, the email came. "Congratulations, you've been awarded a full-ride scholarship." I read it 3 times to make sure it was real. Then I ran downstairs, my phone clutched in my hand. "I got it. I got the scholarship." My mom turned from the stove. Her face lit up. "Oh, honey, we're so proud." She pulled me into a hug. For 5 seconds I felt seen. Then her phone rang. She pulled back, glancing at the screen. "It's Brooke." She answered. "What's wrong, sweetheart?" I could hear Brooke crying on the other end. "Mom, I failed my math quiz. Can you pick me up? I can't handle this." My mom grabbed her keys. "I'm sorry, honey. We'll celebrate tonight, okay?" She kissed my forehead and left. My dad followed her. I stood in the kitchen, acceptance letter still on my phone screen, alone. That night, they came home with ice cream for Brooke. We sat at the table for 2 hours talking about her math quiz, how hard school was for her, how stressed she'd been. No one mentioned my scholarship. Not once. The scholarship covered tuition, but I needed $1,200 for my dorm deposit and books, due in 2 weeks. I'd been saving every paycheck from the grocery store, but I was $400 short. My parents had promised, "Whatever you need for college, we'll cover it." I found my dad in the garage one Saturday. "Hey, so I need $400 for the dorm deposit by next Friday." He froze, wrench in his hand. "Actually, we just had to pay for Brooke's braces, and she needs a new laptop for school. Can you pick up extra shifts?" I felt the air leave my lungs. "You promised." My mom appeared in the doorway. "We didn't think you'd need money with a scholarship. And Brooke's braces can't wait. Her teeth are getting worse." I knew Brooke's teeth were fine. This wasn't medical. It was cosmetic. Because Brooke wanted to look better for junior prom. My dad set down the wrench. "You're so good with money, Maya. We know you'll figure it out." There it was again. That phrase. "You'll figure it out." I nodded. Didn't argue. Didn't fight. I just walked away. Because they had no idea what I'd already figured out. What they didn't know was that I'd been preparing for this moment for months. Since sophomore year, I'd been freelancing as an online math tutor, building a client base, scheduling sessions around my part-time job and schoolwork. Every cent went into a separate account, an account my parents didn't know existed. Because I'd learned early, I couldn't rely on them. By the time I asked my dad for that $400, I already had $1,100 saved. I didn't need their money. I asked them as a test, to see if they'd keep their promise. They failed. But I didn't just save money. I documented everything. Screenshots of their texts. "We'll support you. Whatever you need." Voicemails. Even a recording from a family meeting where they promised to prioritize my college needs. I wasn't planning to use it against them. I just wanted proof. Proof that I wasn't crazy for feeling hurt. And I'd applied to 3 paid summer internships at engineering firms. My parents didn't know. One of them sent me an offer. $3,000 for 8 weeks of work. Starting right after graduation, I accepted the same day. My parents thought I was helpless without them. I was about to prove them wrong. Mr. Alvarez became my quiet ally after that. He checked in every week, helped me finalize housing forms, connected me with Dr. Patel, an alumnus mentor in the engineering department. One afternoon, he told me something I'll never forget. Your parents love you, but love and support aren't always the same thing. I felt something shift inside me. I didn't need their approval anymore. Meanwhile, Brooke got worse. She'd ask me for money. I'd say no. She'd throw a tantrum. You're so selfish, Maya. You have a job and you won't even help your own sister? She'd run to our parents, complain that I was acting superior. One evening, my mom pulled me aside. Can't you just be a little more understanding? She's going through a hard time, I snapped. She's always going through a hard time. When is it my turn? My mom's face fell. That's not fair. We've always supported you. I didn't argue, but I knew the truth. That night, I couldn't sleep. I went downstairs for water and heard my parents talking in the kitchen. I stopped in the hallway. My dad's voice. Do you think we've been too hard on Maya? A pause. My mom. She's fine. She doesn't need us like Brooke does. She's always been independent. My dad. Maybe that's the problem. My mom dismissed it. She'll thank us one day. We taught her to be strong. I stood there in the dark, hands clenched. They didn't see it as neglect. They saw it as parenting. I went back upstairs and made a decision. I was done waiting for them to understand. Graduation was in 2 weeks. The university required a family RSVP for the scholarship ceremony. My parents assumed they'd be there, but I hadn't invited them. I'd planned something else. The night before I left for my summer internship, my parents threw a family dinner in my honor. We sat around the table, pasta and salad, nothing fancy. But Brooke dominated the conversation the entire time. Her summer plans, a beach trip with friends, funded, of course, by our parents. She talked about boys, drama, her friends. My internship got mentioned once. That's nice, Maya, my dad said. Then Brooke started talking again. After dinner, we were clearing plates when my dad brought it up. So, what time's the scholarship ceremony? We'll need to leave early for photos. I set down my plate, looked at him calmly. You're not invited. Silence. My mom laughed, nervous, confused. What do you mean? Of course we're coming. I pulled out my phone, opened my notes. I'm allowed 2 guests. I invited Mr. Alvarez and Dr. Patel. My dad's face went hard. That's ridiculous. We're your parents. My voice stayed steady. You're right. You are. But you weren't there when I needed you. I started listing it, calmly, like reading a grocery list. You skipped my interview to take Brooke shopping. You cut short my acceptance celebration to get her ice cream. You refused to give me $400 while buying Brooke a laptop and braces she doesn't need. My mom interrupted, defensive. We've sacrificed everything for you girls. I met her eyes. No, you sacrificed everything for Brooke. I sacrificed everything for myself. Her eyes filled with tears. How can you say that? I pulled out my phone again, played a voicemail, my dad's voice. You'll figure it out, you always do. Then another, my mom. Brooke needs us right now. You understand, right? I played 3 more. My parents sat frozen. I kept going. I'm not angry anymore. I'm grateful. You taught me I can't rely on anyone but myself. And I don't. My dad tried. We were trying to make you independent. I shook my head. No. You were trying to make things easier for yourselves. And that's okay. But don't expect me to pretend it didn't hurt. Brooke, who'd been silent this whole time, finally spoke. You're being so selfish, Maya. They did their best. I turned to her. No anger, just clarity. You've never had to wonder if you mattered. I have. Every single day. She didn't have a response to that. I stood up. I'm leaving tomorrow for my internship. When I come back, I'll pack for college. I'll visit on holidays if you want. But I'm done pretending this was enough. My mom reached for me. Maya, please. I gently pulled away. I love you, but I don't need your approval anymore. I walked upstairs, left them sitting in silence. The next morning, breakfast was quiet. My parents barely spoke. Brooke avoided eye contact. I loaded my car with my suitcase and laptop. My dad came out to help. We didn't talk at first. Then, as I closed the trunk, he said quietly, "I'm sorry, I didn't realize." I nodded. I know. It wasn't forgiveness yet, but it was a start. The scholarship ceremony happened 2 weeks later. Mr. Alvarez and Dr. Patel sat in the audience. I walked across the stage in my cap and gown, accepted the award, smiled for the photo. I looked out at the crowd. My parents weren't there, but I didn't feel empty. I felt free. Later that day, my mom texted, "We're proud of you. I'm sorry we didn't show it better." I didn't reply right away. I was too busy celebrating with the people who actually showed up. By the end of summer, I'd earned $3,000 from my internship, made industry connections, secured a research position for my freshman year. My parents tried to reconcile. They invited me to family dinners, asked about my work, even apologized. Awkwardly. I let them in. Slowly. But I no longer waited for their validation. I built my success without them, and that I realized was the greatest gift they accidentally gave me. For once, their silence didn't hurt me. It freed me. Some families show love by holding you up. Others show it by letting you fall and expecting you to fly. I flew, and I'll never apologize for it. Where are you watching from? Drop it below. I always check. If you've ever had to prove yourself to people who should have believed in you from the start, you're not alone. Tell me your story. And if this one hit home, subscribe, because I share these stories for people like us who had to become their own biggest supporters.